What's up, everybody? I'm gonna give this just a minute to get things rolling and people to come in, but this is not clickbait. The title of this live stream is Shutting Down All Fish Activities, and that's not a lie. I'm just letting the notifications go out. When I see the chat participants jump up, then I know everybody's here. But it's Friday. Hope everybody's week has gone good for them. Hopefully you don't have to work tomorrow. And if you do, hopefully everything goes well for you. But a lot's been going on. You can tell by the title, a lot to talk about. So anyways, I see that there's people filtering in now. I'm a little early. I just went ahead and went live after OFR was done. If you come in late in this video, restart it, and I guess there's no point in telling you that now because you're here right now. Anyways, hopefully audio and videos looks good. I think it looks good. I was actually going to use StreamYard because I got an email from them saying that they do 1080p streaming now, and but you have to pay, and it's their premium, and it's like billed annually, and it's $39 a month. And I was like, screw that, like that's a lot of money to stream when I already have that ability for my phone. But anyways, this week I believe the video is out. I went horseback riding on Sunday. It was a good time. It was a long day. I got some comments about how I was feeling like a day or two later, and I'll just talk about the pain from horseback riding. That was like my first real horseback riding adventure. It was 13 miles of like mountains. It was these, like, I don't want to say mountains like the Rocky Mountains, but for Ohio, it's mountains around this lake. And 13 miles is how long it takes to go, or how far it is around the lake. It's like the perimeter of this lake. It was going pretty well, no problems. It wasn't until like the last couple, like 2-3 miles, I was like, all right, like horse is getting tired, I'm getting tired. And then the last mile, the horses, me and my buddy Josh, our two horses, they were like, we're done, we've had it. And they were walking sideways, and it was a good time. So we got back to the trailer, hopped off the horse, and my knees felt like they were 100 years old. On the horse, felt fine, like nothing hurt. Got off the horse, my knees were like extremely like old feeling, like in pain. I just walked it out, and then I was good. Legs didn't hurt, nothing like that. The next day, my back was hurting, which it didn't hurt at all the day before. But basically Monday, my back hurt. But I basically just stretched it out, and all good. So it was a day of pain, but anyways, so some things have like been brewing around here, basically for like the last year, when I started getting heavy into the fish. As you guys know, my plan was to disassemble my fish room and move it to my garage. And with the garage, there were some things that needed to be done. The first thing is get the project car done and out of there. I needed to build a new shed and move everything in the garage out of the garage and turn that into a fish room, basically. Well, for the past year, I've always wanted not necessarily a bigger house, but a different house on property. So I guess my dream is like a few acres of land, a house with a basement, so storage, because this house does not have a basement, so I'm limited on storage. But I basically want to be able to go outside, ride my four-wheeler, shoot guns if I want to shoot guns, out of the city. And I Hate Stupid People said B stream I've watched the last 2 or 3 days has had ads. B stream. I'm not sure what you mean. Most streams, if they're monetized, when you click on it, even when they first go live, it'll usually roll an ad. That's why I try to wait a few seconds to make up, because it's usually a skippable ad. So it's like 5 seconds and you can skip it. So I try not to get into like anything crazy in the first minute. Okay, so anyways, I've always wanted more land. 2 acres, 5 acres, something like that. I don't want like crazy like 20 acres, but like 2 to 5 is kind of like what I want. There's been a push for me to do this with my neighbor's house, which is an exact clone, it's literally the same house, to a T, same layout, same bedrooms, bathrooms, etc. It went up for sale on, let's just say it was Wednesday, and it's in contract already. I think they actually went in contract like the next day. The market here in Columbus is extremely hot if you're a seller. With all these major companies that have made Columbus like their headquarters, it's brought in a ton of people, but there's not enough housing. So the housing market is huge if you're an owner trying to sell. Now, if you're trying to buy a house, you're paying a crap ton of money. Well, anyways, I was looking into it and what they're selling, what they sold their house for, and a lot of houses are going for over asking. So if you're asking $200,000, people are bidding higher just because they need to get into a house, right? Well, I'm assuming they got exactly what they wanted. I don't know yet. That's all public information. Once the house closes, I could see like exactly what it sold for. But if I sold my house, the exact same house, I theoretically could come out like $75,000 in my pocket. That's a lot of money. So I'm thinking a house that I'm not, like, I don't hate the house, but it's not my forever house, right? It's not the house where I knew after like a year of being here, I'm like, all right, this is not what I want. I like the location. Location's great. It's a great neighborhood, but I want to be out somewhere, right? So this week, after seeing my neighbor's house go for sale, and it sold like that, it got me thinking about moving. Now, I've already planned on breaking down the fish room, and the goal was to break it down, and then I was going to redo basically version 2.0 in my garage, the 2,000 gallon tank, and then honestly I want to do like 40 breeders. I don't want to do the 10 gallons again. I really want to do like 20 longs and 40 breeders. I got those 29s, but it's a good tank size. I just prefer the 20 longs, and I think I can fit more species of fish if I do that. So now I'm looking at selling my house and moving. This is going to go, well, I guess it can go one of 3 ways. Not selling my house, and I continue with the garage fish room build, and just keep going along how I'm going. Version 2, which is where I'm at, like option 2, which is where I'm at right now, is I had planned on living at my friends with the horses we were talking about this week, staying with them for like a year, so I'm mortgage free, like sell my house, basically live on their farm, not like in their house, but they have a shed that we were talking about doing a tiny home with, and basically I could live in that for like a year and save a ton of money, because I'm single, so buying a house that's on acreage, you're looking at a few $100,000 right now, and to keep my lifestyle how I want it, I need to have a lot of money down to get the payments down, right? But I want to be able to move somewhere where I can put up a pole barn, so I can do a fish barn, basically. That's my goal, is to do a big fish barn, to where I'm not limited on tank sizes. If I wanted like 10 1,000 gallon tanks, I could do it, right? So I've been looking through real estate, and there's a couple cool houses in the area I'm looking at. One's like an old school. It was built in 1820. Is the original house, fully remodeled, and then it's got additions that were added in 1901 and then 1990. It's got the cool like 1820s, like super tall ceilings, like maybe they're 10 foot or 12 foot, like they're huge rooms. And it's like when you roll up to the house, it looks like you're rolling up to the house like in 1820, but it's like nice looking, right? Super nice. But they have a, I'm assuming it used to be like a carriage house, but it's huge with concrete floors, and it's massive, and it's on 5 acres. And there's 3 lots adjacent to the property that are for sale. If you want to, you can buy those, like you can buy 1, 2, or 3 additional and get up to like, I think it's like 18 acres. But the house is beautiful. It's really nice, but something that's built in 1820, even though it's been fully remodeled, I don't know, something about that kind of scares me. I know something built 200 years ago, it's built to last at this point, but it's a big house. It's like double the square footage of this house. That's a lot, but it's a nice house. It's got a really long driveway with like the trees that line the driveway, so it looks like the movie Patriot. If you guys ever seen the movie The Patriot, when like a couple of the scenes when they're looking down like the long gravel driveway and you got those trees and you can see the house at the end, that's kind of like what this house looks like. It's really awesome, but it's not really something that I'm really going to look into. So here's my dilemma. If I go to White Oak Stable, which I actually used to live, that's the Dotson family. When I was younger, I moved out of my parents' house and moved into their house, which was not, this was not the farm days. This was when they actually lived down the street from where I'm at now. I lived with them for a few years, and it was a great time. I don't even know how old I was, 22 or something. It was like the party days, 22 through 26. We partied a lot. It was a ton of fun. So here, the dilemma is I could buy their shed off of them, and when I say shed, it's like 12 foot by like 30 feet. It's a decent size, and it's already insulated. It has electricity. And I thought it'd be cool to be able to do a bunch of do-it-yourself videos of how like I finish it. But today I was looking at the cost of it. Now, it's got electricity, and it will have gray water, so it means it has a shower and a sink, and it's drinkable water, but you don't have black water, so there's no toilet. So to do number 2, I have to go into their house, which is not a big deal. But the second option was travel camper. So it's Carrie. Carrie's mom has a travel trailer there now, travel camper, I mean, because she was down helping them with the farm like last fall and over the winter, and then she's from Michigan. She's back up in Michigan. The trailer is still there, or the camper. I keep saying, I'll call it a trailer from now on, guys, just so you know. When I say trailer, it's a camper, a pull-behind camper. She's got a camper there now, and so I started thinking about that, and she wants to sell it. I don't know what the condition is inside. It's cheap. It's a really good price, depending on what the inside looks like. It's something I could buy, live in it for 6 months or a year, and not be paying like mortgage and all these utility bills, stuff like that. Save up a ton of money, and then I can buy the property I want, right? The other option is I sell the house, I take my profit and buy a new travel camper. I don't know if you guys are into like camping or campers. These new campers are insane. I mean, they're expensive, but they look like MTV Cribs have like taken over camping. And like some of these campers have like granite countertops and like theater seating in it. Like it's nuts. They have indoor like full kitchens with outdoor kitchens, so like you can grill and there's sinks and crap outside. I don't need all that. I'm just saying like what kind of options these things have. Ton of stuff you can have in these. And I'm a sucker for fancy stuff. Like I like having a new truck, so I lease trucks. So every like 3 years I have a new truck. I like fancy stuff. I like nice stuff. I went many years always having old vehicles. I was always constantly fixing. I am a mechanic. But then I got to this point where I'm like, I'm tired of working on my own crap. I just want nice stuff. So then I started leasing new vehicles. So the thought was I could take not all the profits. I'm not going to spend $50,000 on a camper trailer. But, you know, what if I took 20 of that and bought a nice new camper, lived in it for 6 months at my friend's farm, get some cool videos doing farm stuff. You know, there's always stuff to do on a farm. And then instead of buying a house, I can buy property. So property is less than a house, obviously. Property is still expensive. It used to be fairly cheap to buy land, but now with Central Ohio blowing up, I've seen stuff for $25,000 an acre, and some stuff you can get down to. I've seen some land like $10,000 an acre. So I could buy 5 acres. Let's say I buy 5 acres. I can move my camper to the property. Granted, I would need a well put in, septic, and power. Do that and then build. I really want, if I buy land without a house, I want to do one of those, it's like the pole barn houses. I guess they're actually called barn dominiums. I didn't know that. That was a term that Josh threw out because I was talking about doing a pole barn house. And he's like, yeah, barn dominium. I was like, oh, I didn't even know they called them that. But anyways, look up like pole barn house. Do a Google search for pole barn house. There's some really nice houses that start off as a pole barn kit. So that was another thing. And there's companies in Ohio that do like the steel buildings where you buy the package, they come out and assemble it, and everything on wherever you want it. It doesn't include like a concrete slab. So you have a concrete slab poured, and if you're doing like a house, you need to have your septic done so that way you can run your plumbing through the concrete, stuff like that. But then they come out and build these things, and they're fairly inexpensive. And Ohio Fish Rescue is the one that showed me this. They sent me the link to the company and pricing, because I was talking about I need to do a new shed, and the pricing is really reasonable. So I don't know, I'm torn, but I know either way, no matter what, I need to tear down the fish room. Whether I'm moving directly into a new house, whether I'm moving to the farm, whatever I'm doing, or doing the garage, right? Whatever I'm doing, I need to tear down the fish room. With that being said, I need to sell off the remaining stock that's in the fish room. I think I'm going to do a post on the local club page to try to get more local people to buy. I also got in trouble a couple weeks ago, guys. So I did a big sale on Hikari Foods. So I was trying to like move some of these Hikaris out. I have a room with boxes of food, so like my overflow inventory is there, and then I bring handfuls in, put it on the wall, so whenever somebody places an order, I can pick it off this wall that you see right here, right? It's easy for me to see stuff. I can pull it, box it. Here's my scale. You know, I weigh everything, ship it. Well, I was like, all right, I want to move a bunch of this food. Well, I'm already really cheap on food, and I didn't realize I was cheap enough to where I did everything like $1 off. Well, Hikari contacted me, and they have some sort of system that automatically searches the internet every single day for their like barcode, like SKU numbers or wording. Maybe like it just searches Hikari food, but they get a report of what gets found that's advertised for sale cheaper than it's supposed to be. Because not all companies, but a lot of companies have, it's called MAP pricing. It's minimum advertised price. So Hikari says you can only sell this food right here for $5 or higher, right? So like a retail store, if you go to a local fish store, they might sell this for $8, but the cheapest anybody can sell it's $5. So when I price stuff online, I just went for the cheapest I could sell it online, because with online sales, people, they just want, they just want cheap. I don't have the overhead like a local fish store has, so I can sell it cheaper. But the way I make money is by volume. So I need to sell, let's say I need to ship 15 packages a day versus maybe a store only needs to sell a couple of those. So what happened was I was trying to move these products, so I just took $1 off everything. Their robot caught it, and then I got an email from them. It was a cease and desist. You can't sell it below. And I didn't even realize I was selling it below. I just took $1 off a bunch of products, but I was already at the bottom threshold. It wasn't every single product. It only hit me on I think it was 4. So I bumped those prices back up. And I had done an email where I to the subscribers on the website, 614fish.com, that I was putting fish foods on sale. Well, if anybody knows, some of them had to go back up, and it's like I said, like $1 a piece or whatever it was. But with that being said, so now the way I'm going to get around that is I'm going to do, instead of just discounting all the products, I'm just going to do a discount code, so it's not advertised, which I'll be doing one, maybe I'll do it after the live stream. So if you guys are interested in fish products, fish foods, stuff like that, and you're not subscribed to the email list, after the live stream, go on 614fish.com. Wait a few seconds. It should automatically pop up a box that says subscribe to the email. Do it, because later tonight, I'll wait like a half an hour until after the live stream. I'm going to send out a code. It'll probably be 20% off. I'll probably have to do a minimum order, like spend $75, get 20% off your full order. Like, no limits. You buy food, you buy medicine. Like, medicine's a good thing to have always around. I'm going to do 20% off to try to clear out some of the stock. Fish, I think I'm going to do a video. Maybe I'll do a video tomorrow of what I have in stock. So that way you guys can see, like, all right, he's got this. Trying to think by tanks. I know I got diamond tetras, serpe tetras, harlequin rasboras. I got a good group of guppies that I've been breeding for a while now. They're just listed as mutt guppies, but if you want some good guppies, the mutt guppies are the sauce right now. I forget what all is in there. Oh, I got some Odessa barbs. I don't know if they're listed. They always hide, so I need to see how many I have. So we'll see. I want to read the chat here. I've been talking for a minute, so let me see what's all in the chat. Instead of reading off everybody's single name like I normally do, I'm just going to try to catch up with some comments. Mickey says, sudden decision regarding your tanks or the house, Steven, moving? Yes, sir. I need to figure out this market right now. Like, this is the time. It's the market could keep going up, but another not suburb. Yeah, a suburb that's like next to where I'm at. They got some subdivisions going in, and they're supposed to be cheap, like not cheap housing, but cheaper because my area and the other suburb are like, I don't want to say higher end because it's not like higher end, more expensive than the city houses, right? Well, they're putting in some. They're nice houses. They're just less expensive than like some of the real fancy stuff going in. And so if like 100 more houses come up for sale that are right around me, like what's that going to do for my resale value? So I kind of want to strike while the iron's hot, right? I kind of like the travel camper idea because then I'll have a bad, all right, 18 up, right? No kids. Then I'll have a badass camper that I can travel with. And so usually with my vacations, I don't really go anywhere. I usually burn vacation and I use it around the house. It'd be super awesome to be able to like take a week off and go somewhere with this camper and just camp. And granted, it's a nice camper, right? Like you can call it fake camping. It's glamping. That's what they call it, glamping. But man, it'd be nice to go up to like the Smoky Mountains or take it down to Florida, whatever. So yeah, I don't know. So I really like that idea. I think it would be really sweet to own one. Really be able to use vacation. I only got a week left this year, and I was saving it towards Aquashella. I don't think that's going to happen, so my vacation doesn't reset until January 2nd, because that's my hire date. It resets on your hire date. So I have 1 week of vacation left to last me until January. But, you know, if I had a travel camper, I could take that week and go somewhere. I mean, you can only go so far, camp, and then have to drive back in a week. But next year, if I had this camper, I could take 2 weeks back to back and maybe drive across the country or something. It'd be super sweet to go visit Jimmy. Jimmy's back at in Seattle. He went back to Aquarium Co-op. I think it'd be cool to be able to maybe next year take 2 weeks and drive to Seattle. I mean, that's clear across the country, and I can stop along the way and camp. Like that'd be super awesome. Anyways, I don't know. Ideas. I'm a squirrel with ideas, but yeah, so we'll see where that goes. Metal and French fries. Nice. I looked out and got a house in, is it Loudoun City, VA, at the bottom of the market about 10 years ago. It's just about doubled in value. Yeah, so I bought this house. Man, I don't even know when I bought this house. 6 years ago? And it was right before the boom of the economy here. Like 6 months later, everything shot up. This house, like, couldn't be sold. Like, it was fully remodeled, nice house, couldn't be sold. Like, it was on the market for a long time. Got it for what I wanted, and then like 6 months later, everything started going up and up. I reappraised the house to see what it was worth, and it gained like 50 grand. And then the neighbor just sold their house for at least 25 grand more than what even mine appraised for, and we have the same house. So it's obviously the market's going up and up right now. Yeah, it's like knowing when to fold in poker. Like, I mean, I have the house, like, I got into a great time, and I could just continue living here, but it's not my forever home. So I would really love to have property where I can have a pond, because that's the thing. Like, I have these the pool pond. I really want like a legit pond. 603 Living said, sounded like OFR wanted new neighbors. Yeah, so that's not the first time I've heard them saying that. They're just waiting for like a neighbor to put up their house for sale, and they want to buy it. And so what they want to do is buy their neighbors out and rent the houses out, but then they don't have to worry about complaints about fish tanks and stuff like that. But they're in a nice neighborhood too, so it would be a lot of money. John said compost toilets, Nature Head. Yes, so didn't even know about compost. Well, I knew about compost toilets, but I didn't know like about them, right? So I was YouTubing those last night, and I saw Nature's Head, and I think it's called like Nature's Air or something like that. But I think out of the two, I was watching like side by side reviews. I did like the Nature Head one better, and those things are crazy. I figured like, who wants to poop in a toilet that has no water and can't flush? Like it's got a reek, and all these YouTube channels like long-term reviews. You don't smell it, you don't know it. As long as you keep your pee out of the poo area, you're good. But yeah. John said, I think campers are off the grid living is cool. One of my old coworkers, when I used to work for BMW, did off grid living for maybe like a year and a half. He basically took a pole barn, made like a little apartment in it, and I did all the wiring. I mentioned this before about I know like electrical, how to do it. I did the full wiring on the house, solar panels. It had a dual fuel generator backup. It could run on gas or propane. Had a battery bank, the inverters and transfer switches, everything. The whole house was not on the grid, had nothing. Nothing was tied into the grid at all. He raised goats, rabbits. They had a big garden. Like, he basically was still working for BMW to save money, which I didn't know, but they ended up moving to Kentucky from here in Ohio. But he was just paying to like pay for gas and stuff like that. He ended up buying a sawmill. So he was in the woods, and he would take these big trees, and he cut his own wood to build. He built like a lean-to shelter, and using all of his own trees. Like, it was really cool, very handy. It was inspirational. But as far as, and they had an outhouse, so they just had a hole in the ground. That's not my lifestyle though. I like luxury, I guess. Not having a toilet is a big deal for a whole year. Yeah, so I would definitely do the composting toilet if I was in the shed. If I buy a camper, then it's got, well, you do a composting toilet, but I think it just goes to a blackwater tank. Now here's a pro towards the camper. Where my friend's mom's camper is parked, it's right by their septic tank. So being that's a farm, they're on septic. There's got to be a way I can tee into a septic tank, right? So instead of like storing black water, just have it go right into their septic system. That would be what I would do. They have a heated water hose. I have fresh water supply to the camper. So right now, if I do go to the farm, I'm probably going to buy a camper with a slide out so it feels roomier. But I mean, they're nice. I mean, I'm telling you. I'm going Sunday to look at some, just to look. I'm not buying anything. Timeline, I mean, there's so much stuff that has to be done around here. I need to sell all the fishy things, all my inventory. So, I mean, this is months away. I mean, this might end up being not even till spring for all I know, because by the time I sell off all the fish and all the supplies, like there's a ton of supplies still, and then some of the tanks. So I was originally going to sell off like all the tanks, but I think I'm going to keep all the 20 longs for sure, and then sell off like the 10 gallons and the random tanks. that 10-gallon bow front, and the 29 like Fluval tank. Sell that off, stuff like that. But I probably will keep this tank. This is one of my favorite tanks right now, this acrylic 55. And if I could, I would have all acrylic tanks. They're lightweight, and I like that you don't have like the black rims. So if I could, I would have these all day long, these acrylics, to the point where I might look into trying to start making my own tanks, like 20-gallon longs, out of acrylic. I think it'd be super sweet. And I would probably do it as like full rack size. So on my rack, let's say there's 5 20 longs. Build like my indoor pond, a big square that's 20 long, like tall, and 20 long, like length, and then do dividers, right? So there'll still be individual tanks, but the outside's like one piece. I think that'd be cool. Chat just jumped. Let me get back up to where I was. New subway being built. We don't have any subways. Mickey said, how about wait another year or two since you're sitting on Golden Nugget? Too risky these days. You probably dropped that comment before I talked about how there's a few like subdivisions being put in. And I'm afraid that's going to like level the playing field. William said, will you empty your products and take a break while moving, or sell them to not need to move and restock once done? So I'm not, as of right now, I'm not restocking anything. So when the products are gone, they're gone. Whether I move or not, I'm probably going to take a break from selling products. I really want to get into breeding my own fish and really only selling fish that I've bred or more rare stuff. So like all these tetras that I have, I'm going to stop doing that. And that's like the goal is like rare fish slash homegrown, basically. The products will be going away because I thought, I really enjoy selling the products. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like I have this desire for business. I love like inventory management. And I love like packing and shipping and all the computer work that goes into keeping all the inventory, right? I love that. The problem is having $10,000 worth of product right now is becoming a hindrance when I'm not moving product. So with like the pandemic, sales like skyrocketed, right? So I was like doing triple sales, and then that's, Ohio was shut down, so I was getting a ton of orders, and then stuff started reopening, and then sales kind of started going back down to like normalcy for me. So all I can do is project. So every week I can see sales trends of what's selling, what's not, and I'm like, all right, so let's say here we go. Let's say these things are on a trend like this, and so when I go to restock, I'm like, all right, normally I buy, let's say 20 of these at once. Well, if I'm like this, on an upward trend, maybe next time I'll buy 30 of these. I buy 30 and I'm still climbing. So next time I'm like, all right, maybe I need to buy 60. So you follow recommendations based off the software and just knowing like I'm selling the crap out of these right now. These things are awesome. And then you do that big order of, all right, let me buy 100 of these. Because the more you buy, the cheaper everything gets. Because like shipping becomes free at a certain dollar amount. Stuff like that. Some companies, some wholesalers do. You spend $2,000, will give you 10% off. So So then you buy 100 of these, and then all of a sudden, like, your trend was like this, and then it's not even like it leveled, it goes like that. And then you're like, well, now I got 100 of these, and I went from selling, 10 of these a week to 1 a week, right? So now I got all this inventory. So it's just business stuff. And it's fun until you try to do big stuff. So like I need to do like the shed and stuff like that around here. I'm like, all my money's tied up in inventory. So I think to streamline stuff, I'm going to, like, once the products are sold, and it's going to take a while. There's a ton of products. I've been removing stuff off the website as it sells out. I need to go through the website and really hammer down on what's listed as sold out versus what's, what should be there. Because I want to get it to the point where you can go to the website and you can see exactly what I got versus like, oh, that's sold out, that's sold out. Right now, livestock's the hardest thing to move, so I think I need to start plugging into the local fish club, who's interested in, Serpe tetras, or I can't even think of what else I have. I got a bunch of salt and pepper cories and glass bloodfin tetras. Like, those didn't sell very well, so I got a bunch of those still. And yeah, I think if I break down the fish room, the one thing I know for sure, there's some fish I'm going to keep for sure, pending if I end up in a camper. But breaking down the fish room, I want to keep my blue shrimp because they do awesome. The Plecos right now I want to keep because they're rare. It's a breeding group, but I may end up selling this breeding group. I don't know. And then my Barbados cories, those things are stupid awesome. So I want to keep them, but if anything, I would try to sell them to a local person, like a local breeder. I already have somebody that wants these. I don't know if he wants them all. I know he wants like a breeding trio. But there's, I forget how many there are of these. 10? Somewhere around 10, give or take one. And they're not common, so I could sell this. I mean, I paid a decent amount of money for these to begin with, but I'm sure I could recuperate all my money back out of them. These rainbow fish, I'm trying to look in the screen. These are on loan. These aren't mine. I've just been borrowing those to get eggs. Those will go back to Mike. I got some other fish of Mike that's here that I'm sure I would just give back to him. But yeah, so kind of rough waters right now, trying to figure out, everything. I see Zen dropped the website URL. Thank you so much. Scroll in. Mickey said, is this perhaps the start of U.S. YouTubers' trend for breaking Daniken's U.S. tour? Everyone in the fish fan will end up on the road. I did see Daniken. I didn't watch the video. I saw something about a road trip. I didn't know anything about it, so I'm not positive. I can't really comment, but I did see something about a road trip. Was he playing and going to like everybody's house or something? John said a lot of RVs are going compost. Yeah, like I didn't realize that it didn't smell, like it uses like the cocoa husk. And what's crazy is like this YouTube video, it was a couple that had an RV with a composting toilet, and they literally showed what it looked like after a month. 30 days of a man and his wife using number 2 in their RV, and it just looked like the cocoa husk. Like, you didn't even know there's poop in there. I was really surprised at that, because I thought it was going to be something nasty, right? And they showed, like, making the new cocoa husk, like, fluffy stuff that you mix up for the compost. It looked like that, just darker. I was like, that's all it looks like after 30 days? Like, that's nothing. I felt like I was going to be the person with, like, the laundry clip on their nose, like, emptying it. No, like, it wasn't a big deal at all. Mickey said, good thing about starting over is you can build all from scratch, having learned from the first time what not to do this time. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with my current fish room. The negative was, which I should have learned, was the third rack, the final rack I built, the import tanks. I didn't drill them because I was like, I want to be able to physically python each tank and look at each fish. Well, after 2 weeks, the fish are great. It sucks pythoning all those tanks when there's 55 tanks or 60 tanks. I forget how many tanks I have now. I wish I would have auto water changed those tanks. So that's my regret there. The biggest, that's regret 1. Regret 2 is rack system 2, the flow through, where the bottom tanks zigzag and flow. I regret not doing those all in 2-inch pipe. I use 3 1/4, and with the cichlids that are down there, when they chew on like a piece of Nubius leaf or whatever, and like it starts clogging up the strainers between the tanks, and then it cuts back the flow, and that's overflowed once or twice now. I did 2 of the tanks, so 1 connection, 2-inch pipe, no issues. I wish I would have done it in bigger piping. So that's a lesson learned. So if I ever did that design again, I know to use 2-inch piping and not 3/4, because it doesn't flow enough water. And I thought it would, but yeah, I was wrong. I started with water storage, and that's what I use now is water storage. That was only for 1 rack, and then I just continued using it for the whole system. I would not do that again. The 55-gallon barrel is not enough. If I did the water storage, I would use like a tall tank, like 200 or 300-gallon tank, versus the barrels. Or I would go to a tankless water heater and just run it straight from the tap through a carbon block, and not have storage of water at all. But yeah, so I've learned some stuff. And what's crazy is I originally was going to do my fish room right here, and I'm so glad I didn't, because for as many times if I've overflowed something because I've been stupid and like left water running and like squirreled and went and did something else, I would have like destroyed my carpet in here and probably the drywall and everything else. The fish room right now is concrete slab with waterproof flooring, so spilling water sucks, but it's not like damaging anything. But yeah. William said, how many USB air pumps you got for sale? I don't even know if I have any left. I don't think I even have any left. Oh. Apparently I got 2 left. If you mean using, I probably use 4 or 5 of them throughout the house. Mainly out, actually they're all out in the family room. So all the tanks in the family room are on USB air pumps. Because the fish room's on, like, it's got one of those linear piston pumps. Mickey says, at Zen, worry about the diamond tetras. Sorry, dealing with kids. Mickey, yes, I haven't got with Steven. I mean, I got hers set aside just for her. Like, they can't even be sold. Vinny said, the hardest part of building with plexiglass is preparing the edges with no imperfections, especially big pieces. Yeah, because I know with like acrylic, you're basically melting them together, so they need to be, no saw marks. And it needs to be a tight fit. Like, even though if you have a gap, you could like liquid fill it. That's just going to be asking for a seam to blow out. That's why I would probably do like 20 long size tanks to keep the height low, so the pressure isn't as high on the side panels. But I think it'd be something I would try. Try small, like one tank, and see how it works, and go from there. Wallace Freshwater Aquatics. SC, how far away from Dayton are you? Dayton's probably an hour and a half from me. An hour and a half, hour to hour and a half. I'm east side of Columbus. So however long it takes you, if you know how long it would take you to get to downtown Columbus, I'm about 15 minutes past it. I'm right by the Columbus International Airport. Mike said, amazed with FedEx shipping. Had an order ship out yesterday from Wyoming at 5 p.m. to my door at 3:30 p.m. All 11 fish in good condition. Yeah, so... who was it? Oh my gosh. Brain fart. The last order I shipped this week, I shipped UPS, and I got an email. Tim emailed me back, said all fish arrived live. He bought a bunch of the Phoenix Rasboras and CPDs. He said they were all alive and all looked great. They all colored up as soon, like an hour after he put them in quarantine, so that was good. Shipping for the most part lately has been pretty good with UPS. I don't trust USPS right now, except for quick, like more local stuff. I've been trying to ship UPS when possible because I've been having good luck with them. I've only had one order in the recent memory, and it was a guy that ordered like 20 Cardinal Tetras. They were all DOA, and it was next day shipping. I shipped them with a cool pack because it was hot that week. So I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have used a cold pack. Maybe they got too cold. But yeah, it was a full DOA order. So that sucked. Oh, let me go back up. Susan says, Steven, you named the two fish I want, Bloodfin Tetras and Pepper Corridoras. Susan, I got them all. I got a ton. Oh, wait, go back up. I hate when chat jumps. It's annoying. Nick says, I love you. Hashtag got my drink on. Nick, I saw you were going to lower your car again. I think that's a bad idea. Your car's more fun, not lowered. So shutting down, no 2,000 gallon build. Hope all is okay. The build will happen. It's just probably delayed. If I don't move, then it's still on. If I do move, it could be delayed a little while. It depends. Like if I buy another house, then it's going to be delayed like a few more months, right? If I go live in a camper, it could be a year. But with all bad news, I try to give good news. Long term, I could have more than one 2,000 gallon tank though. Ideally, I would love to have like a 30 by 60 pole barn just for fish. Ohio Fish Rescues now with these Bellagios, they're full. Like they can't fit more tanks in there. That's why like the 2000 is now outside. Like they can't put any more tanks. They can try to upgrade tanks, maybe get rid of like the 650 and the 300 and then get 1,000 to take up the spot. But they can't like add more tanks. They're locked into that room. Can you imagine if Ohio Fish Rescue had a 50 by 100 foot pole barn that they could utilize? Because you could do some monster. I mean, even if you just did pools and not like full out aquariums, you could fit a lot of fish in there. And I think it would be cool to be able to have a ginormous breeding facility, but then section off like the fun stuff and have like a 5,000 gallon tank that has monster fish in it or whatever, you know. I do know if I end up with the pole barn, the 2,000 gallon, because I said it's going to be at least 2,000 gallons, will probably get upgraded to bigger. I think a community tank of like 4,000 gallons would be insane. Like, whew, it'd be fun. Yeah, so let me keep rolling through this chat. Cyclist said 3 closest Petcos are out of the 20-gallon longs already. So just so you guys know, I got an email from one of my wholesalers. There is a glass shortage when it comes to aquarium builders. They got a truckload of tanks in, and they said, look, we don't know when we're going to get more. I feel like I got something in my eye. We don't know when we're going to get more because of the whole pandemic. Like, oh, I guess, I don't know, like, because I was thinking of the shields that they've been putting up. I think those are all plexiglass. At least the ones at my work where they put in front of, like, the cashiers and stuff now. They're all plexiglass. They're not glass. But anyways, they said that there's a shortage of them being able to get the glass. And then, yeah, I don't know. They're saying there's a shortage because of the factories, like, you know, with people calling off because they're sick, or a lot of places laid off. Like, it's just a chain reaction, right? So if you're thinking about trying to get a $1 per gallon tank and you see it, I would probably try to get it. Because who knows, maybe in 5 months there won't be any tanks other than like 2.5 gallons or something. Like, I don't know. Lumpy Dog's here. Hello. $33 longs. 33. That's a sweet tank. Mickey, I guess maybe it's a U.S. thing only. Petco, and I know Pet Supplies Plus, they do $1 per gallon. It's on 10s, 20 talls, 20 longs, and 29s. 40s, 55s, and I think 75s are like 50% off. And it's a steal. It's a legit steal. These tanks are cheaper than my wholesale cost. So when I need new tanks, I just wait for the $1 per gallon because it's the cheapest way to get a tank. Super sweet. The downside is they're so cheap new that you can't sell a used tank in that size. Like, I got all these 10-gallon tanks. Like, I can't get $10 out of them because who wants to buy a used tank for $10 when you can buy a brand new one for $10, right? The benefit is mine are all drilled with bulkheads, so it will save somebody time and some money if they want drilled tanks. Mine are already pre-drilled for them, but so I know like selling the tanks are going to be a pain. I had somebody on Get Gills email me a few weeks ago. It was a store. They were also moving like I'm doing, so they were selling off their fish room, and it was like the complete fish room, every single tank, every single piece of hardware, like all pumps, filters, air pumps, like, and all remaining livestock. And it was like, I don't even remember. I can't remember, like $2,000 or $1,500. It was a steal. I'm like, man, like, I just think of how much money I'm putting into a fish room. That sucks. And like, I don't really need those tanks. Like, technically it's worth it in the stock, you know, if he's got 500 homegrown black Moscow guppies and whatever else he's bred. But yeah, so I don't know what happened. I I wasn't interested because I was like it was a good deal, but I would also have to drive. He was like, I think in Wisconsin, like I'd have to get like a U-Haul trailer or truck, and then try to drive all that. Yeah. Just Shrimp Granny, hello. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything's okay. You ever repair tank? I have a 200-gallon tank with a back panel cracked. If it's glass and it's cracked, you got to replace that whole panel. There's no repairing it, and I guess if it's acrylic, you could probably, if it were my tank and it was a 200-gallon acrylic, I would try to repair it by, and I'm not telling you to do this because I don't know if it would work, but this is what I would do. I would probably take the crack and use it like a Dremel or cutoff wheel, create a groove in the, like where the crack is on both sides, fill that with the very thin acrylic. I forget the number. I forget if the number's like the higher if it's thinner or thicker, but the thin stuff that's like water, fill that crack in, and then I would still probably glue a new piece of acrylic over the top of the crack. But it's basically how you repair a windshield that cracks. You're basically filling in the crack with new material. It's basically like a glue that they use. But if it's glass and it's cracked, it'll never be the same. Like, also it's not tempered, because tempered glass is the ones that shatter, and non-tempered are the ones that crack. But if it's glass, you're going to have to get a whole new glass panel. And if it's a big tank, like a 200-gallon, you can look into, I forget the website. Google like custom glass sizing. You can select the width, height, and the thickness, and you can get an idea of what it costs. Glass is not cheap when it gets big. Those glass panels I have for the 2000, they're like $500 and up a piece. That's like $1,500. One panel is a little bit bigger than the other, so that's why I'm saying like $500 and up. The two small panels are like $500 a piece. They're Starfire glass. Yeah, so like adding windows, every time someone's like, oh, you should add another window there, that's $500 more. For a 40 by 40 or whatever size it was. But, you know, if I do get, Susan says just made a big order. I did see an order come through the website, so Susan, thank you. It's cool seeing like the order. It doesn't, like on my phone, it doesn't tell me who does it. It says order placed, and you know, it's said through my website, then like the dollar amount. But thank you, Susan, for the order, and I'll throw some extra stuff in there for you, since I know you are doing your fish room and everything again. But I appreciate it. If you order fish, I always send extras anyways, in case one dies along shipment from stress or whatever. But I don't know what you ordered. I'm guessing it's the glass blood fins and peppercorns, if I had to guess. But thank you so much. And actually, I'll throw in, I had a mess up this past week on my inventory. I had listed, I had 265 ONIP tabs, and I found out it was not the 265, it was the 100. So, let me grab it. Susan, I'll throw this in your box. It's 100 of the original ONIP tabs. As most people know, if you've ever used these, they're great. They're awesome, actually. But they switched to a new formula, and Corey didn't like it, so now the whole internet doesn't like it. The new formula is all natural. It dissolves a lot quicker, which is why Corey doesn't like it. They're still good food, but they dissolve quicker. This is the last original, Susan. I'll send this with your order. So thank you. I don't know why that blocked that chat, but I approved it. So yeah, there's a little extras. just because I don't really want to have to relist this on the website. Let's be honest. But I do appreciate it. Just so you guys know, if anybody places official orders, I ship Monday through Wednesday. All fish get why can't I think of the word right now? My brain's not working. I stopped feeding my fish. What's that called? Purged. I purge my fish. I purge every single tank. Starting Saturday nights, I just stop feeding every tank because I don't know what's going to get ordered. Saturday and Sunday. So Sunday there's no foods, and then I ship out on Mondays. Just Shrimp, thank you. Purge or fast. So I do that no matter what. So people that order, fish most likely are still pooping in the bags because all the tanks are planted. So like they're constantly grubbing on something. I just don't add additional food. I was a little nervous with the Phoenix Rasboras because if you guys don't know, Phoenix Rasboras, like adults, are like rare to get to an inch. They say the average adult size is like 8/10 of an inch. They look sickly when you purge them. Like they look so tiny that it makes me nervous that like if I stop feeding them, are they going to die? Like they're so small. They're tiny little fish. If you got a small tank, Phoenix Rasboras are the ones to get. This like 3-gallon or 4-gallon cube I got. Am I going the right way? This tank right here, I could put 30 of those things in there and they'd be fine. As long as it's planted, you watch it, but 30 of these Phoenix Rasboras would fit in that tank and be perfectly fine. They're so small. They're the smallest fish I keep. CPDs, so one day when I have my monster size fish room, I want to do like a 55 with like 100 plus CPDs. That's another one of my top 10 fish. Once they like color up and they get to like adult size, gosh, that's such a beautiful fish. They're amazing. Unfortunately, when they come in wholesale, they're like tiny as can be, super tiny. They're so tiny that I stopped selling them until I keep them for at least like a few months. And even the ones, like I sent some to Jack and Dan. It's another YouTuber channel, father and son. Jack's the son, Dan's the father. I sent some that I had for 2 months and they were still small. But they come out, they're super tiny when I get them. So I've been holding those for a while. I think I have just a handful of those left. But that's another one of my top 10, like nano fish or community fish. I'm trying to think what I have them in with. I think they're in with like some guppies right now and albino cory cats. I think they're in the albino cory cat tank. But another thing I want to do is if I get a new house and do the fish room, I kind of want to do a green screen. Not for like, I mean, I could live stream from, but not for live streams. I still want to do the 2000 as my background. So like 2,000 gallon right here. I want to do a green screen to be able to do like product reviews or tips and trick videos. And that way, think of like the weatherman, how like they're off to the side and you got the green screen so they can show you stuff. I want to do like that. That was kind of what this room that I'm in now was going to be. It was going to be the YouTube studio. I think I did a playlist about the YouTube studio. Never did it. I turned this into a business. So this became like an inventory room. And now I really like having a live tank behind me. I could do a green screen with a live tank like OFR does and Steamfot. Bob Steamfot has a green screen with a fish tank behind him. I could do that too, but I think with like a live tank, you just never know what they're going to do. Like this rainbow could jump out of the tank right now. You never know it, but actually I need to feed them. I've been power feeding these guys because they eat like pigs. Yeah. I could probably feed them once an hour, and they would just constantly eat. The Super Reds will play cleanup. So yeah, let me keep moving in the chat. Where are we at? Fish are full of crap. They are. Fast fish, yeah. Yep, you guys ever have that moment where you just like, you know those stuff, like, I purge fish every week, and brain fart. Whoa. It still works. They're linking the website. Yeah. Benny says Jack and Dan rock. Yeah, met them a few times in person. Like, we've hung out like at OFR doing stuff. Jack's cool, and Dan's really awesome too. Dan's helped out a ton up there. And Nick just tagged me in a post on Facebook. I hope that is nothing crazy, Nick. Chat just jumped. Will Ottos eat those Plucko bug bites? Wallace, I'm actually not sure. That's... I've only kept Ottos once, and it was for wholesaling fish, and they sold out. Like, Otto Singlets was probably my quickest selling fish I've ever had here. That's a fish that I got in, quarantined, listed for sale, and I think they sold out that weekend. They were gone. And so I never really got to play with them as far as feeding. I feed like the fish room Tetra Tropical every single day because it's a good food, but it's a mass thing. Like, it's cheap when you're feeding 55 tanks every single day. But yeah, I don't know if they'll eat that or not. If I'm honest, I'm not sure. Just drinking water, guys. I tried to drink half a gallon every night after work. I'm working on it. Working on it. Good Ottos are so hard to find. The ones I got were from my local wholesaler, so I got to see them in person. They looked good. Got them home. They did good. I still quarantined them. Instead of doing like 30 days, I think, on those, they were so good, and they were from the local guy, so I don't have to worry about like the importer to here. I think I quarantined them for like 20 days or 21 days, something like that. They were just awesome. They sold, like, as soon as I put them online, they were gone. So that's a fish I would put on I need to start doing a list of what sells and what doesn't. Ottos is something I need to put on the list of I need to get back in once I start selling fish again, I guess. Like, once I'm done moving or whatever. Streetwise says, what does the title mean? I missed the introduction. I don't want to go through the whole story again, bud, because it's a long story, but basically the cliff notes is I might be moving, and because I might be moving, I'm trying to sell out of my fish stuff. I'm trying to sell off all the products. Yeah. That's the cliff notes. I might be moving, so I'm trying to sell everything, basically. This is not the end of it, not the end of the channel. Depending on which way I go, if I go camper living or to a new house, if I do camper living, the channel is going to have less fish. Oh, something cool. There's a big pond at the farm. It's big. Like, it's not wide. It might be, let's say 30 feet wide, or maybe 40 feet wide, but it's super long, and I think it's like real shallow, and then it gets like deep. If I move out there, I get full rain of this pond. There's nothing in it. Crap ton of frogs, right? And it's covered in duckweed. So, what gets rid of duckweed? Koi. So, And so here's the thing: it's stagnant water, so there's not like any flow in this pond. It's got the backside of it's surrounded by trees, but there's some elevation change to it. So it'd be super sweet to be able to do maybe like a waterfall, not like a ton of elevation, but do some rock work and make a waterfall, pump water from one end to the other for the waterfall to get some flow through it. Put some little koi in there and watch them grow. Clean up all the duckweed and the moss and algae, or I guess it's not moss, but algae in there. Clean this pond up, and it'd be cool, like long term, to turn it into a recreational pond so we can go swimming. But that would be like a whole series I could do if I go that route. But like I said, I'm just letting you guys know, so it's not like a surprise when I'm like, hey guys, I'm out, peace, moving to a farm, right? So this is where I'm at. Like, it's brainstorming. There's months of work ahead. My shed, I went and I cut my grass before the OFR live stream. My shed is really starting to fall apart now. I think a raccoon keeps getting into it at night because Havana keeps pulling the shed down, because like the wood's getting like that ripe old age where it's like, I don't want to say rotten, but it's basically rotting. So she's like pulling the shed down piece by piece, and so I'm going to get a new shed. So even if I sell my house, I still need to get a new shed, because someone's going to be like, I'm not spending $250,000 on your house when the shed's falling down, So, Chevy Fish, that's a good question. How far is the farm from where I'm at now? So I went there yesterday straight after work. So I did some science, guys. Some science. It's really not too much science, but I wanted to see at rush hour how long it would take me, because right now it takes me all of 5 minutes to get to work. Location, location, location. This house is 5-minute drive to work. Super awesome, right? So I want to know, I knew it was going to be a lot further away. How far is it from work to the farm? What kind of gas mileage do I get in my truck? And what was the other thing? Far gas mileage in time. So it's 22 miles from my work. I got 22 miles per gallon. So I used a gallon of gas to get there. And it took me like 28 minutes. So it's about half an hour from where I'm at now. South. So south of me. So about half an hour. If I end up there, it's an option. I'm going to be out there Sunday. My aunt has a Jeep Wrangler and she wants to off-road it, so we're going to take her to the farm and let her drive through a pasture. I think she'll be happy with driving through a pasture as off-roading her Jeep. And then I think my aunt, myself, and Carrie from the farm, we're going to go window shop and look at some campers. I'll probably take some video. Unless there's a sales guy like all up next to me, then I get really awkward. Like when I'm in public trying to do YouTube videos, I just feel awkward about it. Like embarrassed? I don't know. Like, hey guys, you're holding your phone out here recording. Oh man. So whatever Nick tagged me on Facebook, Josh Price, which is Ohio Fish Rescue, just commented on it. So I hope it's nothing bad. But that just came across my phone. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's embarrassed. Like I'm kind of embarrassed to be like holding my phone out here like, what's up guys? Like, I'm walking through this camper. There's a sales guy. Like, I don't know. I do what I do though. I'm just me, like, whatever. Cyclist says, I drive 40 miles one way each day. So it would be a 22-mile drive for me. Right now, it's probably 3 miles. If I had to guess, it's probably like 3 miles is what I drive now to work. It's literally like straight down the road. So like, there's the main road that goes through my town. I'm a block off of the main road. My work is on this main road, just 3 miles down. I drive home for lunch every single day. That's when I do my orders. So like the orders today that came in like overnight. A lot of my orders come in like after I'm asleep. So midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I get a lot of orders. Like West Coast, like California, I get a lot of orders. So I pack those on my lunch break and I take them to the post office if I have time. If not, then I take them to the post office after work. And because it doesn't matter if I drop off at 9 a.m., noon, 3 p.m., or 5 p.m., they don't leave my post office until 6 o'clock. So as long as I get them there by 6, then they ship out like that day. So that was something I learned, like, as long as I get there by 6, it doesn't matter. Zen dropped the website again. Thank you so much. Vinny's Aquatic said, "Hey Susan, cool channel. Just subscribed." Yeah, subscribe to Susan if you're not subscribed. She's good people. She ordered from me tonight. That's awesome. Thank you. Royal Fish Aquatics is here. Hello. Oh, was that my first shout out? I think it was. Oh, chat. If anybody else YouTubes, why does the chat jump like it does when you're like hosting a YouTube chat? Like whenever I'm in somebody else's channel, it never jumps. But whenever I stream, it always jumps on me. It's annoying. Car issues for life at Mickey. Yeah, I could talk about cars a lot. Mickey lives in the center of the city, so he actually doesn't need one. I couldn't go without a car. I couldn't. Oh, someone's coming. It's Havana. What's up, girl? Can you guys hear? There's her ears. I feel like chat's slowing down. So what time is it? 9:40. Probably going to wrap it up. I'll drop the last thing I want to mention again is I'll probably do 20% off the entire website. I'll drop that to a subscriber email, so if you're not subscribed, subscribe. And Zen, thank you for dropping the website again, 614fish.com, and I'll send that code out here shortly to the subscribers. I do have members. Ooh. I do have members. I could do a member discount too. Alright, so with members, if you're a member of the channel, thank you again. I'm going to do a community post to members, and I'll give you, if you place an order within like the next week or whatever, members, I'll send you something extra. I can't really go any more than 20% because then I would literally be paying you guys to take products off my hands, and I'm not trying to lose money. So members will do 20% off, and I'll... What? No. If you're a member, I'll just send you something. You don't even have to buy nothing. That's what I will do. I'll mail you something. So members, when you watch this, I don't know if anybody's in here now, or you watch a replay, shoot me... Oh, no, I'll contact you. I got your infos. I'll contact you, and I'll put something in the mail for you this week. Anyways, guys... Melbourne, it's 11:42 a.m. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. And I'll keep you updated on this whole moving thing, whatever happens. I think... Oh, sorry. Time out, guys. Timeout. I mentioned I did a community post about Tanked Tuesdays or Tank Tuesdays, about doing videos of just a tank. Now that I'm on a live stream, I can tell you what I was meaning by that. The majority of it was a poll. Majority said yes, do it. There were some people that said that they didn't really care, they weren't interested. Tank Tuesday would be Tuesdays just a video of a tank. So think of this tank. It's just framed. This tank, you can watch it for 20 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever I end up doing. And it's just that tank, maybe some music playing. Somebody commented that they were actually wanting to start a channel of just that. So instead of like a YouTuber like me, like talking to you guys, it's just videos of tanks. I want to do a playlist. And the reason I thought of this is like, looking at Jimmy's tanks, I'm like, I could really watch that tank for like an hour. I could just watch the fish swim around. So I think Tank Tuesday is just going to be a video on Tuesdays. Just extra content for you guys. If you want to watch it, you can. A certain tank, and in the description, I'll say, hey, it's a 55-gallon acrylic. It's got this I'll tell you what's in the tank, like what's the fish, what's the substrate, what's the plants, what's the lighting, what's the water change schedule, like everything you would want to know about a tank. What's the filtration, stuff like that. I'll put in the description of the video, and you can just watch it. The goal is to build up a playlist to where, like, I know, like, when I go running to the store, I'll leave YouTube playing for the dogs to watch. And they actually watch TV, and Havana, she watches it until, like, a dog or, like, something scary happens, and then she just barks at the TV. Charlotte will just watch TV, like, endlessly. But I thought it'd be a cool playlist to start. And it's a good way I can show you guys like these rainbows. I like to do it all in 4K to make it even nicer. But yeah, so many I just saw. I think it was Zen. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. You could use them as a screensaver too. Yeah, so like once I do my green screen, I have the video. I could just basically play the playlist. The hardest part is coming up with like all the music for it. I did do one. I might have released it to members only. If I didn't, I gotta check that. Members only might have that video. I did it of the 75-gallon to test it. I think it's like 20 minutes. Obviously, like, you might want to watch a 20-minute video of just a tank, but there's no talking. It's just a tank. And if you're into it, cool. If not, you don't have to watch it, right? But I figured might as well do it. And every Tuesday I can cycle a tank. Axolotls. I might do... So the 75 was just the front panel view. I might do like different angles, maybe like from the side, or somebody mentioned putting a GoPro in the tank. The GoPro works great underwater until a fish gets up close, and then it doesn't have that macro ability. Whew, your breath is terrible. You get you a minty. The macro, like once it gets like really close, it goes out of focus. I don't know how good footage that would work. Anyways, I completely forgot about that. But Tank Tuesday, it's coming. Excuse me. Members should already have that video. If not, look for that on Tuesday. I'll upload it. Well, it's already uploaded. I'll convert it. Members all get videos first. So that's like, they get like first views, and it's usually a few days in advance. This has been like a week in advance. And then I can get feedback and positive, cool, and on we go. And then I'll give members something cool in the mail this week. Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got. All right, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Video will drop out Tuesday, and I'll probably upload something this weekend. And yes. All right, thanks. I'll see you later. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. All the fun stuff. Stay fishy, my friend.